All right, Alex, thanks for that live update. We'll take folks back there live when we see the president expected again to depart and speak to reporters. Thank you. Let's bring in our panel, prominent journalist Rich Lowry. He's the editor of the National Review, joining us today, and he's also author of the book, The Case for Nationalism. Also pleased to have former Deputy National Security Advisor Victoria Coates. She is the Vice President of National Security at the Heritage Foundation. Very busy day and an important trip ahead. I want to start with you, Victoria, and China. As we see President Trump leaving, he is bringing all those big names in business with him. Elon Musk, as we mentioned, Tim Cook, but also BlackRock's Larry Fink and Boeing's Robert Kelly. Ortberg, we have the picture here of some of the major players. So when you look at sort of the strategy, we know that there is China sort of dominating the rare earth minerals, AI chips, electric vehicles, but something that our president is very aware of and how to kind of level set, if you will. So besides the business, we know that there's also going to be talk about trade, Taiwan, and of course, Iran. How do you see him completing all of these, and which one do you think will net the biggest win for President Trump on the back end?
Well, great to see you, Bianca, and you too, Rich. This is a momentous trip, and obviously the president is doing a major flex by bringing this collection of extraordinarily successful billionaires with him. And the contrast couldn't be more dramatic with communist China, where they put billionaires like Jimmy Lai in prison, and they try to stifle that creativity. And instead, we're seeing from the United States, a physical demonstration of the power of our economy and these top figures. So I think that's a critical message. Now, on Taiwan, I do think the president really wants to avoid a conflict. We have a recent study called Tidal Wave at Heritage that indicates a conflict with China would cause a 10% contraction of the global economy immediately, regardless of what happens. We want to avoid that. But to do it from a position of strength, so we're not conceding anything to China, we're just managing any potential conflict, I think that's what the president's main takeaway will be.
All right, great to set it there. And let's continue on with the economy and talk about back here at home, Rich. We know it's a real issue. Inflation numbers jumped 3.8% in April. Gasoline prices surging. That's the main driver here. But households are turning to their credit cards to cover things like groceries and gas, electricity. They're cutting back on driving and savings. And now the Trump administration says it will release 53.3 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try and stabilize markets. But obviously, we are close to the midterms, close enough. We're a burden on us, and we are not going to sit back and just say, wait till the war's over. And that seems to be the message that the administration continues to tell people out there. What's your advice on how to, I think, message to the people that they are doing things to help them and it will be successful? Because many people, frankly, don't feel it.
Yeah, well, the most important thing would be to win the Iran war and be done with it. But we're engaged in this game of chicken in the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf, where we're crushing the Iranian economy through the blockade, but they can exact economic pain on us and the rest of the world as well. And we're seeing it with those gas prices. So in order to give us more leeway and try to win this game of chicken, the president and the administration are trying to do everything they can to alleviate the pinch at the gas pump, lifting the federal gas tax, ideas like that. But there are limits to how much you can do. So I think it's going to be difficult economically and politically until this conflict ends.